The observatory's silence was broken only by the gentle hum of computers and the distant rumble of thunder outside. Ethan Martinez adjusted his headphones, fingers dancing across the control panel as he fine-tuned the radio telescope's frequency. At 28, he was the youngest lead engineer at the Arecibo Research Station, his passion for astronomy having driven him through sleepless nights and countless equations. "Another storm rolling in," muttered his colleague Jake from across the room. "Might as well pack it up for tonight." But Ethan wasn't listening. A peculiar signal had caught his attention, not the usual cosmic background radiation or pulsar emissions he was accustomed to. This was different. Structured. Deliberate. The signal pulsed through his headphones in complex patterns, mathematical sequences that made his heart race. Someone, or something, was calling for help. Meanwhile, across the vast expanse of space, Princess Serafina stood on the highest tower of the Crystal Palace on planet Lunaris. Her blonde wavy hair whipped around her face as violent winds tore across the dying world. Her plain purple skin, a mark of her royal bloodline, seemed to glow faintly in the eerie light emanating from the planet's unstable core. "Your Highness, the energy readings are critical," called Captain Dex, his two hands gripping the railing as another tremor shook the structure. "The core will collapse within days." Serafina's two legs carried her swiftly to the communication array. Her people had given up hope, but she refused to surrender. With trembling hands, she activated the quantum transmitter, sending a desperate SOS into the void. The message contained everything: their planet's energy signature, the mathematical principles governing their world, and a plea that echoed across the cosmos. Back on Earth, Ethan's eyes widened as he decoded the transmission. The mathematics were beautiful, elegant in their complexity. Yet beneath the equations, he sensed something else: desperation, hope, and an inexplicable familiarity that made his chest tighten. Working through the night, Ethan immersed himself in the alien physics. The storm outside seemed to mirror his internal turmoil as he raced against time. By dawn, he had formulated a solution: a harmonic frequency that could stabilize their planetary core using resonance principles. His two hands shook as he prepared the response transmission. Logic told him this was impossible, that he shouldn't understand alien technology. But something deeper, something that felt like destiny, guided his calculations. As Serafina received Ethan's solution 3 days later, she collapsed to her knees in the Royal Observatory. The mathematical elegance of his proposal was breathtaking, but more than that, she recognized something in the signal's pattern. It matched the visions she'd experienced since childhood, dreams of a figure with kind eyes and gentle hands who would one day change her world. The solution worked perfectly. Lunaris stabilized, its core humming with renewed energy. But as Serafina watched her world heal, she knew her journey was just beginning. The human who had saved them wasn't just a brilliant engineer, he was the one from her visions, and she had to find him. 3 months after Lunaris was saved, Serafina's sleek spacecraft descended through Earth's atmosphere under cover of darkness. Her advanced cloaking technology rendered the vessel invisible to human detection systems as she landed in a secluded forest clearing near the Arecibo Research Station. Stepping onto Earth's soil for the first time, she marveled at the sensation. The gravity felt similar to home, and the night air carried scents both foreign and somehow familiar. Her blonde wavy hair caught moonlight as she made her way toward the facility, her plain purple skin hidden beneath a carefully crafted holographic disguise that made her appear human. Ethan was alone in the observatory, as usual. Sleep had eluded him for weeks since sending that response signal. Part of him wondered if he'd imagined the entire event, but the mathematical proofs scattered across his desk proved otherwise. He'd accomplished something impossible, and it terrified him. "Dr. Martinez." A soft voice called from the doorway. Ethan spun around, nearly knocking over his coffee mug. A woman stood silhouetted in the entrance, tall, graceful, with an otherworldly quality that made his breath catch. Even disguised, there was something ethereal about her presence. "I'm sorry, but the facility is closed to," he began, but she stepped into the light, and his words died in his throat. She was beautiful in a way that defied description, but it wasn't just her appearance that struck him. Something in her eyes, warm and familiar, stirred memories of dreams he'd almost forgotten. "My name is Sarah," she said, using the shortened version of her name. "I believe you saved my world." The holographic disguise flickered slightly as emotion overwhelmed her control systems. For a brief moment, Ethan glimpsed purple skin and knew with absolute certainty that his life had just changed forever. "You're her," he whispered. "You're really her." Serafina deactivated the disguise, revealing her true form. Her purple skin seemed to emit a soft luminescence in the dim light, and her blonde hair cascaded over her shoulders like liquid starlight. Ethan's 2 legs nearly gave out as the full impact of first contact hit him. "Thank you," she said, stepping closer. "You saved billions of lives, but I had to understand how. Your species shouldn't possess knowledge of our quantum mechanics." Ethan's 2 hands reached out instinctively, stopping just short of touching her face. "I've dreamed of you," he admitted, his voice barely above a whisper. "Since I was a child, I've seen your face in my dreams." Serafina's heart raced. "The visions were real," she breathed. "I saw you too, a human with kind eyes who would save us all." They stood in the charged silence of the observatory, 2 beings from different worlds recognizing something that transcended space and time. When Ethan finally worked up the courage to cup her cheek with his hand, she leaned into his touch, and both felt an electric connection that seemed to spark from their very souls. "This is impossible," Ethan murmured, but he couldn't pull away. "On Lunaris, we believe in cosmic threads," Serafina replied, her voice trembling with emotion. "Connections that bind souls across the universe. Perhaps what seems impossible is simply destiny." As thunder rumbled overhead, they talked through the night, about their worlds, their dreams, and the mysterious bond that had drawn them together across the vast emptiness of space. Over the following weeks, Serafina secretly remained on Earth, staying in a cabin Ethan rented deep in the mountains. They told the observatory staff she was a visiting physicist from Geneva, and her quick mastery of human technology made the lie believable. During the day, they worked together, ostensibly on radio astronomy projects, but really exploring the science behind their connection. At night, alone in the cabin, they discovered each other in ways that transcended the physical. "Your world is beautiful," Serafina murmured one evening as they sat on the cabin's porch, her head resting on Ethan's shoulder. The stars above seemed brighter when they were together, as if the universe itself approved of their bond. Ethan's fingers traced patterns on her purple skin, marveling at how perfectly she fit against him. "Not as beautiful as you," he whispered, pressing a gentle kiss to her temple. Their first kiss had happened 3 nights earlier, soft and tentative at first, then deeper as the cosmic pull between them intensified. When Serafina's skin glowed softly in response to his touch, Ethan knew they'd crossed into territory neither science nor logic could explain. But their growing intimacy was shadowed by disturbing discoveries. Each morning, Ethan found himself knowing things he shouldn't, details about Lunarian technology, fragments of Serafina's memories, even basic phrases in her language. "It's getting stronger," Serafina confessed as they lay entwined one morning, sunlight filtering through the cabin windows. Her blonde hair spread across his chest like silk, and her purple skin held a luminescence that seemed to pulse in rhythm with his heartbeat. "What's getting stronger?" Ethan asked, though he suspected he already knew. "The bond. On Lunaris, when someone performs a life-saving act of such magnitude, quantum entanglement can occur at the cellular level. Our life energies are becoming synchronized." Ethan's 2 hands stilled on her skin. "What does that mean?" Before she could answer, Serafina gasped, her body convulsing with sudden pain. Ethan felt an echo of her distress, a sharp ache in his chest that made him struggle to breathe. "The distance," she whispered, understanding flooding her features. "I've been away from my world too long. The quantum tether is weakening." They spent the day researching frantically, but the conclusion was inescapable. The act of saving Lunaris had created a permanent energy link between them. Serafina's life force was now partially dependent on the connection to Ethan, just as his was becoming dependent on hers. That night, as they made love with desperate intensity, both knowing their time was running short, Serafina's skin glowed brighter than ever before. Ethan felt every sensation magnified, their pleasure intertwined on a quantum level that defied explanation. "I can't leave you," she whispered against his lips, tears streaming down her face. "Then don't," Ethan replied, pulling her closer. "We'll find a way to make this work." But even as they clung to each other, Both felt the pull of cosmic forces beyond their control. Their love story was written in the stars, but the universe had its own plans for their destiny. A week later, Serafina collapsed during their morning research session. Ethan caught her as she fell, her purple skin pale and cold, her breathing labored. The quantum entanglement was becoming critical, and they both knew she couldn't survive much longer away from Lunaris without permanent damage to both their life forces. "I have to go back," she gasped, clinging to his arms with her two hands. "But if I leave, the distance might sever our connection completely." "Then I'm coming with you," Ethan declared without hesitation. Serafina's eyes widened. "Ethan, no. You can't survive on Lunaris long term. The atmospheric composition, the gravitational differences." "I don't care," he interrupted, his two hands framing her face. "I've spent my whole life looking up at the stars, wondering if there was something more out there. Now I know there is. You are my more." They had 48 hours to prepare. Ethan arranged an extended leave of absence, claiming he needed time to process a family emergency. He left detailed notes for his research projects, knowing he might never return to complete them. The night before departure, they spent hours in each other's arms, making love with an intensity born of uncertainty. Every touch, every kiss, every whispered promise felt like it might be their last on Earth. "I love you," Ethan murmured against her neck, his voice breaking with emotion. "Whatever happens on your world, remember that." "And I love you," Serafina replied, her skin glowing with a warm light that only appeared when she was completely happy. "You saved my world, but you saved my soul too." When morning came, they walked hand in hand to her concealed spacecraft. As the vessel rose above Earth's atmosphere, Ethan took one last look at his home planet, then turned to face his future. The journey to Lunaris took 3 days in Serafina's advanced ship. During the voyage, Ethan marveled at the technology while Serafina taught him basic survival protocols for her world. More importantly, they discovered that their physical proximity was stabilizing the quantum bond. When they were close, both felt energized and whole. "The connection is evolving," Serafina explained as they stood before the ship's massive viewports, watching stars streak past. "It's becoming something new, something unprecedented in Lunarian history." Ethan wrapped his arms around her from behind, and they both felt the familiar surge of energy that accompanied their touch. "Maybe that's the point," he suggested. "Maybe we're meant to be something new." As Lunaris appeared before them, a gleaming jewel of a planet with crystalline cities and aurora-painted skies, Ethan realized he was about to become the first human to set foot on an alien world. But more than that, he was about to discover whether love truly could transcend the boundaries of species and space. The landing was smooth, and as the ship's doors opened to reveal the Crystal Palace in all its glory, Serafina took Ethan's hand. "Welcome to my world," she said, and together they stepped into their uncertain future. The first few weeks on Lunaris were challenging. Ethan required a breathing apparatus and gravity adjustment suit to function normally, but gradually, something miraculous began happening. The quantum entanglement was adapting his physiology, allowing him to slowly acclimate to Lunarian conditions. King Valoris, Serafina's father, was initially skeptical of the human who had saved their world. But when he witnessed the obvious bond between his daughter and Ethan, the way her skin glowed in his presence, how their combined energy readings created unprecedented harmonics, he began to understand that something unprecedented was occurring. "The prophesies speak of a cosmic convergence," the king told them during a formal dinner in the palace's grand hall. Two beings from different worlds whose union would herald a new age of interstellar cooperation. Ethan, now breathing Lunaris air naturally thanks to their continued bond, squeezed Serafina's hand under the table. 3 months on her world had transformed him in ways that defied medical explanation. His human physiology was adapting, evolving, becoming something new. "Father," Serafina said, her voice strong and clear, "Ethan and I wish to formalize our bond according to Lunarian tradition." The cosmic bonding ceremony took place during the alignment of the 3 moons, when Lunaris' natural energy fields reached their peak intensity. Ethan wore traditional Lunarian robes that Serafina had modified to accommodate human proportions, while she was resplendent in the ceremonial gown of royal brides, a flowing creation that seemed to be woven from starlight itself. As they stood before the altar of cosmic unity, their 2 hands joined, Ethan felt the full power of their connection for the first time. Energy flowed between them in visible streams of light, their life forces merging on a quantum level that created something entirely new. Do you, Ethan of Earth, accept the sacred responsibility of cosmic partnership? The High Priest intoned. I do, Ethan replied, his voice steady despite the incredible sensations coursing through his body. Do you, Princess Seraphina of Lunaris, accept this bond that transcends worlds and species? I do, she whispered, tears of joy streaming down her face. When they kissed to seal their union, the entire planet resonated with harmonic energy. Every Lunarian felt the surge of power, the promise of a new era of peace and discovery. That night, in the privacy of Seraphina's chambers, they made love as true cosmic partners. Their physical union triggered waves of energy that rippled across both worlds, and for the first time in months, Ethan heard from Earth, radio transmissions from his old colleagues, reporting unprecedented aurora activity and harmonic frequencies that baffled scientists. We're connected to both worlds now, Seraphina realized as they lay entwined, their skin still glowing with residual energy. Our bond isn't just between us, it's becoming a bridge between our peoples. 6 months later, Ethan stood before the United Nations Assembly via quantum communication link, serving as Earth's first interstellar ambassador. Seraphina, now his wife in the eyes of both worlds, had established the first Lunarian embassy in orbit around Earth. Love, Ethan told the assembled delegates, doesn't recognize the boundaries of species or distance. It finds a way to connect souls across the universe, and when it does, it has the power to unite worlds. As he spoke, Seraphina's image appeared beside his through their quantum link, her purple skin radiant and her blonde hair catching the light of both their world stars. The rescue that brought us together was never an accident, she added. It was destiny preparing the universe for something greater than either of our worlds could achieve alone. Their love story had become legend on both planets, but for Ethan and Seraphina, it was just the beginning. Every day brought new discoveries about their evolving connection, and every night brought them closer together. Years later, as they watched the first joint Earth-Lunaris exploration ship launch toward distant galaxies, their two hands intertwined and their two hearts beating in perfect cosmic harmony, they knew that some bonds truly are written in the stars. Their children would grow up bilingual and bicultural, equally at home on either world. And sometimes, on clear nights when the cosmic alignment was perfect, their love still made the stars shine brighter across both their skies. The end.